Joe Jimenez is a guy who seems to be a lot better. Like Alex Lange. Alex Lang. I think like Gregory Soto wasn't a very highly touted prospect, and I think he's definitely turned himself into something. I mean, he was not like a top 100 prospect or
No,
nothing.
no, no. But the Tigers did work. Here's the thing: what the Tigers did with him, they stopped his leg kick. Used to have a really high leg kick,
Yeah.
and they simplified his windup, and that started in the Winter League, I believe, 2 years ago. So there was something done with that.
Yeah, you saw like Garrett Hill this year, his change of delivery. Like bro Brisky. So I think there's reason to believe the Tigers have some good pitching. Like the Tigers pitching, I feel like was really solid this year. They just weren't healthy. That was the main problem with it. But I think Matt Manning definitely took a lot of steps forward this year. Same with Tarek School before he got injured. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see what Casey Mize really was going to look like. But I definitely think there's a lot of examples that prove towards the Tigers are definitely a positive in that development in terms of developing pitching.
Yooper, what about you?
Well, it kind of boils down to, were they fixing mechanics or were they fixing pitch sequencing and pitch selection and optimizing what they have, the strengths of their pitchers? I think you can probably point to a little bit of both. John just pointed out some pitchers they made some mechanical tweaks with. But I think more than not, some of these pitchers that they've had some success with, it was probably more of an idea of just playing to their strengths and having a coaching staff that can get them throwing the right pitches and with some better sequencing, and they had some fairly strong results at times.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I do like the idea that like, hey, we don't want to let this narrative live here if it's not true. Like the Tigers are just fixing pitchers, but I do think, to your point, Yoop, I think it is a lot more that the Tigers stopped being dumb with pitching, which is something that you saw a lot with the Pirates back in the day, was where they would just try to force everybody to throw sinkers and sliders or whatever. And like, saw it with Garrett Cole. As soon as he got the Astros, they changed what he
Yep.
threw. And they, and I think what we saw was the Tigers didn't strike out a ton of guys this year. And a lot of that, I don't think that's who they want to be. But I think they looked at their pitchers and said, all right, this is what we can do to survive.
Yeah.
We're going to, work with these guys to get outs the way we can. And we saw Matt Manning over the course of the year. His slider got better. We saw a lot of things. We saw Garrett Hill randomly broke out an over the head windup and started hitting the mid 90s more frequently. Yep. And we even saw it like down. This is part that like the average fan might not notice, but down in the minor league level, we saw differences in pitch usage. And even like, there's David Laura had an interview with Jackson Jobe talking about how throughout the year he was figuring out how to use his fastball. And like, that's not stuff that they used to do. It's not stuff that kids used to figure out on their own. Like that they're working with him to figure out the best way to make his fastball play. And so, yeah, I mean, like, I don't think the Tigers are some miracle workers that are turning nobodies into. They're not turning Yinsi Almonte into a guy who gave up 40 earned runs last year and gave up 4 this year or whatever. But I think what they're doing now is smart and it works. And I think they can attract other pitchers and say, hey, we've got a plan for you. We can make it better. And I think that was one of the things that Scott Harris said in his press conference, right? He wants Detroit to be a place where players can come and feel like they're going to get better. And I think the pitching staff is pretty much there already, the pitching development staff. But they're certainly not done. They've got plenty of room to grow.
Well, for me, something that what you just said, Chris, we saw this in the minor leagues. Like we asked a couple of pitchers beforehand. I remember you asking pitchers, so what do the Tigers tell you to do? Oh, they just tell me to go throw my stuff, whatever. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I'll give an example, a specific example that I saw this year in Ty Madden. Ty Madden there's a starts where he was going off speed, breaking ball, and that was it. He wasn't throwing his fastball. And then there's some starts where there was a plan why they were doing it.